If he would have done that to me,
Oh,
I'm
you were
crying.
crying. Yeah, you crying.
Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Yep to My App. I'm still Erica Star, and today I'm here with
Herlene.
And this one is for all the people who swear they're ready for a relationship, who say they want the wholesome stuff, who say that it's all gonna work out in their favor, yada, yada, yada. And then when the first person comes around, they're like, yep, nope, this isn't gonna work. This is for all y'all because y'all fucking lying. So
Facts.
we're gonna get real deep, real fast. And yeah, so let's just get it going. First question. What did your last relationship teach you about your emotional needs?
That I need somebody who's going to be emotionally available and just allow me to, like, just be sensitive, you know? Don't be in it to the same degree that I am. We're together every step of the way, and you're not 10 steps ahead of me or 10 steps behind me. And even if you are, that's something that you can communicate about. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much you need to pour into not only yourself, but into another person.
But what does emotionally available mean to you? Because I feel like everyone has very different definitions of that.
Emotionally availability is basically you being able to hone in on your emotions and communicate them, work through them, even the ones that are uncomfortable, because most people see relationships and they only see the good parts about it. Nobody really showcases the bad parts. And I'm not saying that you have to, but in those moments is where you're really curating a bond.
Gotcha. So what does it mean to be ready to get into a new relationship after a breakup?
To be ready is to know that, you know, you forgave yourself for things that you tolerated, things that, you know, you might have let go of just because you were in the moment and you thought, all right, I really want this relationship to work out, and trying to ignore the red flags in a way. But basically apologizing to yourself and allowing yourself to grieve that portion of yourself and let it go. And step into being this brand new person who now has boundaries, who now is going to fight for the right things and not the wrong things, and communicate when things aren't the way they expect them.
Okay. But you talked about like apologizing to yourself. Do you think that someone would need closure from their ex in order to move on after a breakup?
I feel like most people nowadays do, but it sounds really messed up. But sometimes people don't give you that closure, and you have to find it yourself. Whether that's you know, building a community again with your friends, maybe you let go of them, or leaning into them, or just leaning back into yourself and realizing like you really let yourself go, and it's okay because you were just following your heart, and there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people fear that.
Okay. So why are you laughing?
It's because of your reaction, like, okay. Like,
Yeah, because I'm just like, these are level-headed responses. Like,
wow, you never...
all right, I ain't say
Hold on.
No, because usually I'll be like, I don't agree. I'm used to saying that. But I'm like, nah, I like this.
So
I'm used to people saying things very contrary to my beliefs. So it was a comforting, okay.
Oh, okay, making sure. I'm over here like, damn, I said something wrong.
No, you're good. Okay, so how do you know the difference between healing and distracting yourself?
I feel like distraction is when you feel empty. Everything you do is just you trying to fill the void, versus when you're healing, it requires you to do the hard work, and it'll be a little uncomfortable, but you'll still be working through your emotions in a positive way. Whether that's going to the gym or, I don't know, buying like several pets. I love animals, so I will never say no to having an extra dog, or just like going to your local shelter or something like that and just being with the dogs. I know there's companies now or stores that allow you to walk the dogs for like a few hours or whatever. That's also something that you can do to help yourself like surpass whatever you're going through, or like just in a way take away from the negative thoughts and the assumptions, because that's where people tend to spiral.
Yeah, you know, I just went through my head with like these super conflicting thoughts of what you just said when it comes to like getting a pet. Because like the shelter stuff, I agree, like, because the dog's not yours. But I'm like, I'm thinking about, because like, you know, I see my dog as my son.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, imagine having a kid because you're depressed. You know, like, do you want that kid to have that parent?
Yo, listen.
Like-
listen. I think, all right, let me rephrase what I said. Having an animal allows you to realize that you can focus on something else. It's not only yourself.
Okay.
So it's a good distraction because you want to make sure that they're well fed, that they're happy, right?
Yeah.
And then in turn, you have to be happy.
Okay, that's
You have
fair.
to work for that as well.
Yeah, and something that I've done with my dog is every single time that I have felt like that I'm like falling back in life, and this is even like outside of like relationship stuff, that I'm just like, yo, a bitch is going through it. I'll do something for him. And
Yeah.
for me, that kind of like balances out whatever I fucked up in my life. Like, there was one time I was down bad. I forgot what it was, but I was like, Biddy, today I'm gonna teach you how to give me paw. And I spent like 3 hours for 3 days straight. I'm like, give me paw. And he was like, what the fuck? And I'm here smacking his paw in my hand. I'm giving him blueberries. I'm giving him boiled eggs, everything. And it was so fulfilling that by the time that he like, smacking his paw in my hand, I was like, oh my God, like I could do something. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things like where I 100% agree, where it's just like, just pouring into him shows that like, okay, you have the energy to pour somewhere. And even if I can't do it to myself right now, like I can pour into something else.
Of course. And it also gives you a sense of accomplishment since you've been feeling so down. That's really what it is. You feel defeated.
Yeah, it's I'm going to sound like the meme, but I was going to say it's almost like a reward. Like,
It's like a reward.
I was like, fuck, like I was really going to say those words. Like, but it is because I think, I've always said that growing up, I've always been like a golden star kid. Like, in kindergarten, it's like, if you slap a golden star on my nose, I'm like, fuck yeah, like I'm that kid,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I always need like those little things that just make me feel better. Like I need to feel like I accomplished something. And I feel like, I look at my dog and I'm like, you know what? He's healthy. He's fed. Like he's good. He's clean. He's my little bougie dog. And it makes me feel like, okay, I ain't doing all that bad. Like,
No, seriously. A lot of people like to compare their wins. And, the only person that knows what a win feels like is yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's big or small. And I think it's really important for people to allow themselves to feel those things.
Yeah. Have you ever distracted yourself with a person though?
Well, here we are, folks. This is the part. I wasn't expecting that one.
I was expecting to strike a nerve, but I guess I did.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's when I realized in the process of doing that, I was not only wasting my time, I was wasting the other person's time. And honestly, that's just karma. I don't want back. And that's just bad karma. I don't need that. I don't have time for that. But overall, I've realized in the process of me doing that I really didn't like that person to the point where I didn't care whether or not they texted me back. I didn't care how they were speaking to me because sweetie, it was...
It's like, yo, you still here though, right?
Yeah, like you still here and I'm here for a good time, not a long time kind of thing. And on top of that, I was just like, I don't want to see your name on my phone. Like it was giving me the ick after a while. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't fill the void with somebody else knowing that I might be missing somebody else.
Yeah.
For me, it's pointless.
Yeah, and I think this also speaks to just like, I had so many thoughts just now. Cause like when I was single and I was going through it because, of a breakup or something, like I would talk to people and I kind of, like you said, like I just wouldn't care if they didn't come up on my phone, but I knew it would.
Yeah.
And I think that also speaks to the type of people that happens to. Not to say it's their fault for being like that.
God damn.
But no, like these are things I think about all the time. Like it's not their fault, but at the same time, like I knew I could only do that to a certain person.
Yeah.
Like someone who knows their worth would not be putting up with my shit, barely answering and whatever. So I feel like for two people to end up in that situation, whether you're playing them or getting played, you're both broken. And I don't know. I just think for anybody who is, who this sounds familiar to, who happens to be getting played, fix yourself too. Don't blame them for playing you. I mean, yes, blame them.
It takes two.
But y'all both fucking up.
Facts.
And I just know it's because I've been there and the thing is too, like when I'm single, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong really. But I would tell them about what I'm going through.
All right, that's valid.
And I would tell them like, I really miss this other person. Like I think maybe one or two people that I let them know like, you're filling a void.
Yeah.
And they stood.
But you see, you give them the choice instead of making the decision for them. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Because you have to give the other person the decision to be able to decide what they want to do with their life and their emotions. You can't just up and feel like, all right, so I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to withhold this information and I'm going to still expect you to comply.
Yeah. it's wrong when the other person thinks that something's really blooming here, and you over here like, yeah, whatever.
And honestly speaking, it's like another tangent is that creates fucking psychopaths.
Yeah. Yes.
Can we curse on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I cursed several times.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, you're good.
But I feel like that's what creates the psychopaths, and people start spiraling down these black holes, so to say, because fucking with somebody's emotions untaps a whole different level for them. Like internally, people will go to the ends of the earth for the things, people, and places that they love. So when you put someone in a situation where in a way you're testing them and looking for a testimony of their love for you or vice versa, expect the worst, in my opinion, especially if you don't feel the same way for that person specifically.
No, and especially when it's almost like you're kind of grooming them to think that that's what love is, because then they go into, other relationships with perfectly healthy people, and they just start spitting all that shit back at them, and it's like, whoa.
It's like, whoa, wrong person.
Because I think that's what it is too. It also has to do with like how malleable your brain is at the moment, where it's like, are you going to assume that this is what love is because that's what that person told you love is? Or are you going to take a step back, and this goes back to the healing and knowing when you're ready for a relationship, and be like, okay, hold on, what do I think love is? Like, let me just, like, when I want to love on myself, what do? I cook for myself. I go to the gym. Like, you nurture yourself. But like, I'm not here telling myself, no, I'll put that off, or, just not paying attention to my needs. So yeah, that was a nice little full circle moment we had right there. But
See, we're doing good. We're on track. We're on pace.
Okay, so what does giving yourself grace look like and mean to you after a bad breakup?
Giving myself grace is definitely listening to my body and listening to my emotions, but not allowing them to overpower me or like run the show, in my opinion. Finding that equilibrium, finding that balance, being able to, yes, if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and cry at work. Right? I'm not going to let that stop me from doing my day-to-day routine. Life goes on. Yeah. Fortunately enough for all of us. Yeah. Even though it may feel like in the moment your world is, crumbling down and whatnot. But to be honest, I think you having a support system definitely plays a big role. And I'm not saying that you need to 100% rely on those people, but it really is good to have those around you that truly know you, to remind you, like, you didn't do anything wrong, right? Because the first thing people assume when you break up is you must have done something wrong. What did I do? How can I fix it? Or at least to some degree, I have that tendency. And I'm learning to, undo that. Because if you come with pure intentions and you're very genuine with what you want to do with the person and you communicate that, you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe the other person wasn't ready. Maybe it wasn't the right time, or whatever the case may be. But giving yourself grace is being able to nurture yourself and just do things for you that you probably paused when you were trying to build a relationship with another person.
Yeah. Something you said that like struck something to me is like, anytime I've ever felt guilty after a breakup, it was because there was like a subconscious thing that I did fuck up. Like there was something I definitely did wrong. And it's like you said, when you have pure intentions and you know that you went through that relationship doing everything that you were supposed to do, like if you know that on your side you're good, the breakup kind of doesn't affect you because you think it's their loss and not yours.
Right.
But I'm not gonna lie, there have been some relationships where they broke up with me and I was just like, oh, but what did I do wrong? But I'm like, I know damn well what the fuck I did wrong. I knew what I wasn't giving. I knew all of that. But once again, back to the healing, it's like, all right, can you check yourself and say like, nah, I wasn't the greatest girlfriend, in certain situations or whatever.
It's really hard to hold that mirror up to yourself, let alone to another person. And most people don't like the mirror being held up to them because it's a lot of hard work that you have to put in order to get back on track, right? Yeah. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their flaws, but you have to be willing to stick by somebody with all those flaws and the red flag, the green flag, like people call it nowadays, and actually want to sustain that and be by that person's side. People blossom into beautiful things when they have a good relationship, not only with themselves, but with another counterpart as well as just their community.
Yeah, and back to the mirror thing you just said, I was thinking about it because you were like, being honest with yourself. But I had a situation where I had broken up with someone and then he didn't know how, like I broke up with him because I knew I wasn't into it. I knew I was just like not here for it. And I remember we had gotten cool afterwards and like I did this for myself where I told him, I was like, do you want to know why things didn't work out? And he was like, yeah. And I told him everything. I told him like all the emotions I didn't feel for him anymore. I told him how everything kind of like fell apart. And like looking back, like it is messed up because for me, it was a challenge to myself and, path towards healing and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was also something he didn't ask for. And I'm like, okay, but like, was that closure for him? Like I went through all of it in my head, but my logic told me like, okay, you know what? I think we both needed this. I think we will both be better after this because it's already bad enough that we're in contact at the moment that we were. Because at that point, we also should have been in contact because I was still being a shitty person and allowing him to just like, you know, speak to me and stuff, thinking he was going to get somewhere. And I knew he wasn't. And part of me telling him that was like, all right, let me just tell you why we didn't work last time. So you know why we won't work this time. I thought we were just friends, you know? So, like you're mentioning a lot of things because sometimes I reflect and I'm like, I don't think I've done enough self-work. Or
Nobody
I don't
has.
think I've done enough like at all. Like sometimes, you know, you hit like, for all the people who are on like, you know, their healing journeys and stuff and, you know, the lifelong ones.
Right.
I feel like you get to a point, not where you think you're good, but you kind of like slow down a little bit and you're like, okay, but things have been chill for a bit. And then you're like, have I not like done enough? But then now I'm looking back and thinking about things you're saying. I'm like, nah, I did a lot. But I'm like, I'm only 25. There's a shit ton more I got to do.
100%.
You know? But yeah, that was a little eye opener for me because I'm just like, okay, I'm doing something.
You're doing as long as you're taking the right step forward and you're working on yourself, you're a never-ending project. You can change today, you can change next month, you can change next week, whenever you feel like it.
Like Hannah Montana.
Period. But I think taking apart what you said, it's, you know, you're never going to feel complete, to say the least, you know? There's always work to be done, whether it's good or bad. There's a shadow side, there's a light side, and I think a lot of people forget about that.
Yeah.
You really don't know your triggers, especially in a relationship, until you get yourself in a new one. You may think that being by yourself is great and you're distracting yourself with your friends, alcohol, drugs, or, you know, being outside or maybe being home too much, right? Isolating yourself, when in actuality, all you're doing is taking yourself 10 steps back in a way, because you still have to put yourself out there. And even if you're afraid, because you don't know what you truly still need to heal from. And sometimes when you meet the next person, they're not going to want to put up with that bullshit. It's going to be real strict and you're going to be real mad because it's going to require real work.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to just choosing the right partner. Like
100%.
choosing someone who is aware of at least the capacity of how much you're aware of. Like you have to tell them, like you have to be upfront with your baggage and be like, listen, I'm working on myself and I know there's still more and shit might come up.
I love that.
Are you okay with that?
I love,
you know?
I'm lesbian, so I love a woman that could just be upfront about her baggage, whether it's good or bad. Like, give it all. Like, tell me everything, because I truly want to understand not only why the way you are, but I want to be able to show up for you in a way that actually is efficient and is helpful for you.
Because if you don't know how to help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people don't like, talk therapy, to say the least. Some people don't want to talk about their problems, let alone work through it. And I feel like that's something that you should communicate to somebody that you're interested in, because what if, at least for me, I would want to help my partner and bring down the earth, the moons, and every single star possible for them, because I don't want to see them upset. I don't want to see them sad, even though I know it's a very natural feeling. But if I can do anything to stop that and just make sure that they're going at a consistent pace or a good flow in life, I'll definitely do it every single time.
Yeah. And this reminds me of something actually recently that happened with my boyfriend, that like, once again, when you're on your healing thing, you think that there's nothing.
Until.
Yeah. And he and we've been together for almost a year now. So I'm like thinking like, okay, it's been a minute. Stuff is cool. But something happened where I get overstimulated, like anytime I have like just too much going on. I mean, it's very basic definition, overstimulated. But like,
most people
when I have like a lot happening, or like I have a weekend where I have to attend 3 different things, still hit the gym and make sure, know, that everything's in check, that the house is clean. Just,
you get overwhelmed.
It's too much. So like, it's also one of those things, like if the TV's on and someone's speaking, there's music on and somebody's talking in the hallway, I'm like,
yeah, it's too much.
So it was one of those nights that I was thinking about a lot. We were watching reality TV. I was playing music earlier in the day. Like everything just started adding up to me, and I had a lot to do by the end of the night. And so we're in bed, and I'm trying to just like, I hate that this is how I decompress, but just like, just doom scrolling on Instagram. I'm just trying to do that. And then my boyfriend's talking to me about something, and it was about a conversation we had earlier that I had gotten heated about, because I get heated about a lot of things. Like it wasn't a fight. It was something I got passionate about earlier in the day.
Disagreement, that's all.
And he brought it up, and I looked and I was like, babe, I don't have the time to listen to that right now. Like, I can't, like, my ears.
And that's
just
valid.
can't.
That's fucking valid.
Yeah, but the way that I said it just now a lot nicer. I definitely said it like a little more rude.
Okay, tone definitely matters. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you being able to catch yourself in that moment is the first step into making sure that, all right, I caught myself. I know right now I'm not in the right headspace. Let me communicate that to my partner, and hopefully he receives it well.
Yeah.
Even though your tone definitely
But like, I got a tendency
harsh.
to snap sometimes. Like,
I mean, it's hard not to act in your emotion like that.
The thing is, though, it sucks because if he would have done that to me, I'm
you were
crying.
Yeah, you crying. Yeah. She ain't have to finish the sentence. I knew that. Like you're definitely crying. Waterworks City.
But something that happened, that same night. So like that happened, and like I noticed that he felt that my tone was off, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like I knew right after I said, I was like, "Fuck, I fucked up." So then we're quiet. I stopped scrolling because I'm like, "Fuck!" Like what happens
how do
now?
I come
like,
back
we're
from
in the
this?
same bed, and so I turn over. I'm like, "Okay, I guess how we're going to sleep." But we're going to sleep mad because it wasn't like an argument. It was just a moment. It was just one of those things where like, okay, we'll wake up. And
you hurt his
fine.
feelings.
So then he gets up from bed and just to finish some work on his laptop. And it was like super quick. He was back in like 10 minutes. But I kid you not, it was the longest 10 minutes of my fucking life. Because I started thinking, I got in my head, and then a bitch started crying. I'm like, what the fuck am I crying for? And then I started thinking back, and I'm like, anytime a guy has gotten up from bed in the middle of the night, it's the beginning of the end. Mm-hmm. Like for me, we had always broken up like at least like a month after. And I was like, fuck, like, is this the end? Like, what's going on? I'm just like, yeah, but he's not really like that. He's not dramatic like that. Cause to me, like, you getting out of, you're dramatic. Please.
Sit down,
Please.
lay back down.
Yeah, because like the last ex that did that, when I got up and found him in the living room drinking a fucking 6-pack of Heineken, and he was halfway done with it just because we were arguing. I was like, yo, I'm with an alcoholic.
Yeah, for real.
It was so bad.
Crazy.
And I was just like, oh my God, like, is this happening all over again? I started freaking out. I'm like, whoa, these are a lot of emotions. These are big emotions, but they're also emotions I wouldn't have known I had or experienced unless I was with someone. So, he came back to bed, and I was crying, and he was like, what just happened? Like, and I could tell from his reaction that he didn't get up to hurt me. Like, it wasn't something that he did to bother me.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, like that was my immediate, like, Erica, chill the fuck out. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that fucking
Also, you have to remember that he's not that guy.
Yeah. So then, I just told him everything. He understood. We talked it out. Hug, kiss, good night, love you. And that was it. And it was so simple.
That's how simple it is, and people overcomplicate it.
I was like, because it's like when it's the right person, they're just like, I get it. Like, you just had a moment, and that's fine.
We're human.
And it was just so nice. Like, it was one of those times that I was just like, this is good. I like this. Like,
this is healthy communication.
Yeah, like, it's new to me, so it's exciting.
Of course.
But yeah, all that to say, like, for as long as you pick the right person and someone who knows how to listen to you and knows how you like to be listened to, because that's another thing. It's like, do you want advice or do you want someone to just listen?
Right.
And you have to be able to say that. Like, anytime I tell him stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna tell you something, and like, if I'm venting about a friend, and I'm gonna tell you something, and I know that I'm wrong, but I don't need you to tell me. I know I'm wrong. I just need to give you the play-by-play of what the fuck just happened.
Like, just hit me out, bro. Hit me out.
Yeah, and then we'll talk later with like the constructive criticism. I'm like, all right.
Like, we'll debunk it later.
Yeah. So, yeah, healthy relationships will teach you a whole fucking lot about yourself. Okay, so what does working on yourself specifically look like to you? Like, how have you worked on yourself, or what have you gone through in the past that made you be like, all right, this opened up a whole can of worms and I need to check myself, or just learn how to deal with something?
Learning how to deal with people either just, I guess, ghosting you in a way, or more so just when you're not ready to, put an end to a relationship, but the other person is, because you thought like, all right, everything's fine and dandy, we're doing great, and someone just like takes it rough from under your feet. Definitely learning how to, maneuver through that. And also, my number one thing right now is just learning how to let people show up as who they are and try not to change them.
Yeah.
Even if I have no malice behind my intentions, it's just allowing them to show me who they really are, and if they're willing to put in the work for themselves. Because a lot of people say that, yeah, I'm doing the work, but you're not really doing the work, because the work is dark. The work is not always light, and it's hard as fuck, bro. Like, there's days where I want to be a piece of shit, but my heart don't pump like that. Like not anymore, at least. Like I have my I have my dickhead years.
Yeah.
Years.
Decades.
Yeah. Decades is crazy. Chill, that makes me sound like a slut, yo. I am not a whore
anymore.
Facts. I'm retired. Yellow to the towel. But definitely, just truly, honestly, giving myself more grace and knowing that I am a good person, and that is more than enough. Because a lot of people nowadays have so many. Wow, to be a tired man. So many people have malice behind their intentions or just whatever they want to do, like their next move. And I'm not really like that. Like if I tell you I'm into you and I care about you, I genuinely mean that. But I also genuinely mean it when I say I don't care. Like once it's either I'm black or white. I'm with you or I'm not. And if I'm not with you, then it is what it is, and learning to be okay with that as well, because it's hard, especially when you started being intimate with somebody and just, sharing parts of yourself that you wouldn't normally share with anybody else. Mm-hmm. And then you think things are going great and all of a sudden it's not, which is cool too. But a lot of people don't know how to communicate that when it happens. They string you along, and I hate to be strung along because
it's never the right time.
I hate my time being wasted because I have plenty of other things that I can and will be doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm making time to be able to get to know you and, build this bond with you.
Yeah. I feel like people underestimate how much time being in a relationship takes. Like I always say, like when you start a relationship, like it's so annoying, I feel like, when people are dating, but they don't know how to date.
Yeah.
Like being in the dating scene and dating several people, yes, of course, like that's life, and you're, free roaming in New York City, and you find someone and you talk for a day and then you realize you hate them and you talk to somebody else tomorrow. Cool. But like when you start like legit dating someone, or like when people say like, oh, I'm talking to someone serious, whatever however the fuck you say it, it's all the same thing. But
we're closed off right now.
Pretty much. So,
no, you cannot pull her for a chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when people are talking to someone seriously, they forget that, like, at least I feel like in the beginning, you have to designate a lot of time to them because you have to essentially lock them down.
Yeah.
Like you need to do enough to make sure that they don't want to talk to someone else. And then you could start going back to your real life and like, like I'm not gonna lie, like at the beginning of any relationship, I'll spend like a few sleepless nights, or like I'll go to sleep late and, go to work tired just because it's like, oh, we had a long conversation. It was nice. Well, this really is Love Island. What the fuck? Yeah. We had a good conversation.
We're connected.
But like that shit takes time, and you have to be willing to put in the effort to put in that time. Because if you're not in a space where you have the time or can allot the time for it, then don't fucking date. Like I 100%. Think that's a huge thing. Like I need you to put in effort, and you could be an amazing person, but if you're not giving me the time and energy that I need at the beginning to be sure that you're someone I want to give time and energy to, then fuck off. Like I just
100%. Listen, I'm queen of. There was this one time. Well, there's been several times, but there was this one time recently where, so I go to work. I have to be at work at 4:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So my time is very limited in the evening. I should be sleeping by 6 p.m. Do I sleep at 6 p.m. every day? No, especially not when I'm talking to somebody. There's been times where the conversation and just the company is so good, and you like the flow of the way it's going, and technically, like, delusionally speaking, you don't want it to end, even though you have things to do the next morning. I've had like 1 hour of sleep, if not like having to leave and be like, all right, I gotta drive 30 minutes, an hour away, and I gotta take a shower, and then I gotta head straight to work. And I work 10 hours. So I've done it several times, and I'm not complaining about it. It's just going back to your point. When you truly are dedicated to cultivating a good relationship with someone, or just investing your time into someone, you'll do those things. You'll have those sleepless nights. You'll go to the ends of the earth where, like, if they told you, I don't know, October 7th is a very special day for them, you're going to buy them flowers. You're going to make it extra special, right? Just being very attentive to the things that they say, and intentional as well.
Yeah. And Something I've never thought about till now, I feel like certain stages of relationships require certain love languages, regardless
Yes.
of whatever your love language is. But it's like the first 3 months, quality time.
Yeah.
You know, and then like towards the end, like, you know, we think about married life, that's all acts of service, I feel like. It's just like,
100%.
just make my life easier, please.
Like, please.
I beg of you. You know? And I never thought about it, but it's true. Like, think about it that way. For those of you who need a much simpler version, quality time. First, you know what? If you want to be extra 5 months, just like hone in on that.
Yeah.
And if they don't like you by then, go somewhere else. Like,
Honestly, if they're not liking you by the second month, you're gonna know.
they don't like you by the
Like
second date.
second date that's a fact.
Listen,
that's a
man,
fact.
I be in love real fast. So
I'm not gonna lie, I'm right there with you. Same boat, so we float. But yeah, definitely. I think quality time, for me personally, I think time is something that you can give somebody that is invaluable because you can't get your time back. You could get back your money. You could get back ultimately almost everything else. You cannot get the time that you give somebody back. And going back to what you said earlier, being able to allot time for somebody, knowing that your schedule is busy, knowing that maybe our off days don't coincide and you're making the time to like either come and see me or like we're planning dates and things of that nature and it's actually leaving the goddamn phone and it's becoming real.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. But I feel like most people nowadays, they don't really know how to stand on 10 toes because last time I checked, I got 10 and I ain't missing one. But a lot of people don't know what it's like to apply that pressure. I think nowadays we apply too much pressure and that's what scares people. And that's where they're like, okay, I got cold feet. Yeah. And it's just like, everybody talks about, I want someone that's obsessed with me. I want someone that's going to be obsessed and all this. And it's like, it sounds very nice off the tongue. But when you're physically experiencing something like that, everybody folds. Or most people, often than not, they just don't know how to handle it.
yeah. And I think some people move fast too because they don't have the time. They're like, can we just get to the point so that we're good and I go back to regular life and now I have somebody. Like that's what the rush is about. But oh my God, you had said something. It'll come back. But the point of what I was getting at was just that because people don't have enough time, they're rushing for the relationship part. And that's what I was gonna say. And part of it too is that you have to be with someone who also understands your
mannerisms.
Not even that, just the way that you view time though. Because it's like, you can say I'm giving you all my time and they're like, they can have all the time in the world. So they don't understand how you can have a life where you really don't have time for them and you're trying to push things out the way for it. Yeah. Because if they don't understand that, they're like, oh, well, I mean, like, you're free all the time. So I guess it's like, no, bitch, I'm free for you. Like, it's not, I feel like people don't get that. Or like people love rescheduling things and pushing it further and further and further. And it's like, all right, so we're not going to fall in love? Is that what's happening?
Because, like, you're just going to prolong it? Like, what are we doing?
Because, you push it back 2 more weeks, you're never seeing me. Like,
gone, ghosted.
Please, somebody else already got my attention.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. A quick little story time because it triggered when you said some people don't know how to value your time or how you view time. For me, it's just like time is an illusion to a certain degree. So especially if I really like you, then I don't give a rat's ass what time it is. You can call me at 3:00 in the morning and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to wherever you're at. Good luck trying to wake me up though, but because once I'm a heavy sleeper. But if my phone is next to me and it's like blowing up, then I'll definitely answer and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to wherever you are. But for some people, like I've dated women where 1 hour of like hanging out is a lot of time for them. I'm like, you know what? To me, 60 minutes is really not enough.
That's not a date.
But it's not. But I'm also selfish like that. Because,
I'm selfish too then.
I'm definitely like, shit, we selfish bitches then. But honestly speaking though, and I think that's another thing that I have to work on is just, being less selfish with other people's time. Because I know that I would be quick to maybe maneuver things or I'm really make it happen. Like I don't care if I have 20 things to do in a day. If my girl tells me I want to go do this or I want that, I'm going to make it happen every single time.
And back to what you said about being obsessed, like wanting someone who's obsessed with you, like to those saying that, you got to be worth obsessing over.
Word, some of y'all be pieces of shit.
Yeah. Like
whole shit, not half.
Some of y'all think looks go a really long, it don't go that far. The looks do not go that far. And I think part of that too is like, it's such a hard balance, but you need equal obsession at the same rate from both people.
Yes.
I think that's what it is, because like,
it gets creepy after that.
Yeah, because like,
it's like, is this domestic
like
or
me
not?
and my boyfriend, I felt like he was all about me from like the jump.
Yeah.
So I usually like I need someone to put in more effort first before I start like diving in, because I'm like, all right, I'm not that crazy.
Like, it's not me, it's you.
Yeah. So from like, you know, the first day we met, I was like, oh, okay, like you kind of love me. That's what it feels like. Okay, I'm down. But then I started hanging out with him more. I'm like, oh, there's no way within this time that you seeing somebody else. I mean, some of y'all be whores. Some of y'all do be seeing other people in between that time.
Which is sad.
But he was seeing me very frequently. And I was like, oh. So like, I'm literally the only person you speak to. This is amazing. Oh, wait, back to communication though. Like, you know, when you start a relationship with somebody, this is something that I've always thought about, because me and my boyfriend handled this so like logically that it bugs me out. Like, when you start dating someone, you know you got stragglers that you gotta like be like, okay,
like I'm good off you.
Like, listen, stop sending me hard eyes. Like, I'm not gonna like them anymore. I'm not even gonna respond, whatever. I told him, I was like, do you have anybody who would like, you know, be upset, let's say, if you posted a picture of me? He was like, honestly, there's one person, but I haven't seen her in like a month, but she would be feeling away. And her birthday was coming up and he had already sent her gift or whatever. So I was, all right, you could send a disclaimer that like, after that gift, you know, you're good. Like, I'm not gonna be upset about the gift. It's fine.
Yeah, it was before you technically, so.
Yeah, and then me, I don't think I had, oh no, I had a few. I was like, but it's all like BS people who I don't even see. I was like, I'll let them know. And he was like, okay, cool. And then we just had like a certain like, oh, like by 2 weeks from now, like we'll probably never hear from them again. We were like, okay, cool. And then that was it. And the stragglers were gone. I don't understand. I have so many friends who be like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell this person. What the fuck do you mean?
How are you gonna tell them?
You gotta break up from the talking stage? Oh
Right,
my God,
like,
that's what I had to do actually. That was one of them. There was a guy I was talking to. Oh my God, this shit was so awkward. I've never had a reason to tell the story.
She got one today, folks. Let's hear it.
Cause he and I, we were like, it was just a little summer fling, but it had gone on for like 2 months, and like it not rolled over. There was like a layover, whatever. There was 2 timelines merged, whatever.
Overlaps.
Yeah, that's the word. So I saw him at the gym, and I was like, hey, can we talk about something? And he was like, yeah. So I was sick right before that. I was sick for like a week, so I already wasn't seeing him. So the text messages were already slow. But if I'm sick, I could still text you. So
True.
I was just like, I hope maybe he caught on, cause like some bitches do. They play the sick card, you know.
No.
And listen, I've done
You didn't do that.
I've done it to several people, and they understood. Like, oh, okay, she don't even want to talk to me. But
You see, that's the problem.
but listen, I spoke to him. Wait. I was good about this. So I saw him at the gym because it was the first time I had seen him since I was sick. And I was like, hey, so can you talk about something real quick? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's so happy to see me. He's like, oh, you look so nice today. I'm like, fuck. Here he goes complimenting me. I was like, I was just like, so, you know that, like, this is a really serious conversation. And he's like, okay. And I'm just hoping that he picks it up before I have to say the words, because it was just hard. And he was okay. I was like, do you know, like, where this conversation's going, like, at all? He's like, no. He's like, what's up? And
You did not ask him that.
No, listen, the way I approached him was very different than every other time that I did. So I thought that he would have even at least felt the vibe, because anytime I was broken up with, I felt that shit like 3 days before. I was like, something bad's coming.
All right, but you were intuitive like that. Most people aren't.
Okay, I just hope he had a little spidey sense, you know? So then I was like, okay, like, you know, like the physical / romantic stuff we got going on? He was like, yeah. I was like, that can't happen anymore. And he was like, okay. And I was like, we good? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And that was the most stressful thing. I have never had to do that. I have never in my life, but it's not that I never had to. It's I never was put in a situation where I would have felt bad if I didn't.
Yeah.
Because he was a good dude. Like, we had set up the situation where it was like, listen, if I find somebody, like, we knew we didn't, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I knew I didn't like him enough to ever want anything serious with him. So I had always told him, like, listen, like, if I find someone I'm really into, like, this is not happening anymore. And he was,
Like, you're done.
Yeah. But I think,
I was gonna make a Love Island joke.
so, but I don't think that was the case on his end. I think he would have been okay with a relationship. But he's just a guy. Any guy is so down to just, you know, have sex until they can.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm letting him down that bad. He'll find somebody else next week. This is fine. And that's how I, like, talked myself into officially being like, all right, dude, this ain't happening anymore. But yeah.
But I also think it's good that you gave in a way, yourself that closure because
No, I definitely, yeah.
you needed that.
Because I would have
and-
felt like shit.
Right.
I would have felt so fucking bad.
But I feel like if you've gotten emotionally invested with anybody or like intimate with people in general, you owe them at least an explanation of why you don't want to pursue them, or maybe not even pursue them, but just like cutting off communications.
Yeah. I think that's another thing too. Like with this whole ghosting stuff that goes around.
Pathetic.
Listen, I think it's situational.
Huh?
Like, okay, let's say you talk to somebody on Hinge for like 3 days and there have been no talks about meeting up. You can ghost.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
I mean it more so like if you invested time into somebody and you guys
That's
were...
crazy. If you guys went on dates and shit,
That's what I'm saying, bro. A lot of people do that nowadays.
that's wicked. That's mean.
Diabolical.
That's a bad person. No, see, no. That's not good.
He's like, that's a bad person.
I speak like a caveman. When it comes to morals, I'm like good, bad. I'm like, no.
It was a black and white, as you should be.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
It'd be
I
like
don't
that
like that.
sometimes.
It
But
shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. At the same time, it builds character, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but like you get a story out of it and you get tough skin.
Tougher skin than what I already got, for sure.
But yeah, like you want to have soft skin. So what do you think people are looking for when they say they're ready for something real and wholesome?
I think that they're looking for like the surface level of things, going back to what I said in the beginning of the episode where everybody showcases the good things in relationships, right? They want someone that they could post, that they could say, oh, my man, my girl got me flowers, and like the surface level stuff. But what it truly means to be in that kind of element with someone is being raw, being honest, being committed, communication, authentic, being able to have that mirror held up to the both of you and still want to look that person in the eye and say, you know what, I'm still attracted to you. Yeah. Because some people have some really ugly parts, and for me, that's definitely a turnoff.
Yeah, and I think part of something being like so-called wholesome is the authenticity that you mentioned. Because it's like, you think it's wholesome because you're like, these people never change, whether they're around other people or whether they're together. But it's like, okay, but it's because the person they're with saw the even more real version than what you're seeing, which is why they're able to be themselves in all these situations. Because that's one thing I've noticed even changed with myself. Like in the past, like I always felt like there was a version of me that was me around my boyfriend, the version of me that was me around my friends, and the one around my friends was always more me. And then I feel like just recently it switched where it's like, okay, no, the version of my boyfriend, that's me as fuck. It's
like that's me in my entirety.
And it's weird, like, you know? And then like around my friends, it's like, it's still me, but I tone it down a notch because I know like I'm a bit much when I'm at my, full capacity of Erica. But because of him, I'm now more me around my friends because he's accepted like the weird Erica that just like yells
I also
for no
think
reason.
Aside from him accepting you, it's also being with someone that makes you feel safe. Safe enough to be yourself, to be emotionally vulnerable, to, be quirky, be
he
weird.
encourages it. That's another thing, yeah.
Most people don't do that.
Why do you think people crave that picture perfect kind of love even when it's not realistic?
Social media. I blame social media for a lot of people being ain't shit, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, yeah.
As well as, if you're mindlessly scrolling all day, then you're not putting in the time to do the work for yourself.
Yeah. You keep on like sparking shit that doesn't necessarily have to do with what we're talking about. But this
is a great episode, folks.
Because I was thinking about this the other day because I didn't realize I really don't watch TV. Like,
same.
I'm just maybe on Netflix and I'll pick a show. Like, my most recent one was How I Met Your Mother. And that shit was amazing. I was beautiful beginning to end. And
beautifully crafted.
Yeah. And it's just a truly nicely crafted sitcom. And it's cool. And it's what I watch in my downtime. And when I'm not doing that, I'm working on the podcast or I'm working on my job. I'm hanging out with friends. I'm living real life.
Yes.
So then, I just recently started watching Love Island. And I'm looking at their bodies and I'm looking at their faces and they're, no matter what, as confident as I can be in myself, I'm looking at them and I'm like, my ass doesn't look like that, or like, oh, like I have Cheetos when I sit, but they don't. Cause if you look at every time they're sitting,
they ain't got shit.
You don't see shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is not real. Cause
that BBL.
Yeah. And
BBL.
it was fucking with me because it's like, you know, you and I had the conversation earlier. When I stand up, I don't have chichos. I'm like, but when they stand up, they don't. So what's it like? What's going on? Like, did you get work done? Because then I like to have the benefit of the doubt and not think that everyone has gotten work done. But I'm just like, it starts fucking with me, and I'm like, I never had these thoughts until I started watching the show. And I'm like, ooh, like, and it could all be like subconscious and shit. Cause as I'm watching, I'm not actively thinking, I don't look like them, blah, blah, blah. When I look at myself, I'm like, the most fresh bodies in my mind are the ones that I saw on TV.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this is damaging. This is disgusting. But like the drama's good, so I'm gonna keep watching. But still,
the drama's good.
Yeah. I was like, oh, like I don't like how this makes me feel. And I'm like, and I'm 25. Like, then I think back to, you know, all those PSAs about the young girls and social media and shit. I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Because I feel like because we grew up with social media, I like to think that there's a section of us who knows how to like to
balance it out.
Yeah, not kind of
filter it.
Exactly. Like, you know, they're like all like the TikTokers and shit. Like, it doesn't faze me when I feel like they're like a whole other sector of people. And there's some people who have been influencers for so long that I'm like, I don't even believe anything that they post. Like, it just goes one ear out the other, you know? But then it was the show that got me like fucked up. That I was like, this is not good.
We used to use social media for the goofs and the gaffs and the shits and the laughs.
Yeah. Yo, you keep sparking shit. And it's so random stuff. I remember when Twitter first came out, this is back when like BET 106 in Park was out. I used to send in a tweet and be like, can you play your song? But I remember my mom came to me and my aunt, she was like, oh my God, like there's this new app where celebrities are on and they say what they're doing in real time. And we were like, crazy. What? No way. And at the time, I think I was into the Jonas Brothers, and she was like, yeah, like Joe Jonas would say he's like at an ice cream shop and he's actually there. He just talks about it online. I was like, oh my God. And it was this whole big deal. And it's like,
now we took advantage.
Yeah.
They don't post dog shit. They don't even post in real time anymore.
Oh, it's just scheduled. But
100%.
Social media done fucked us up. And perceptions of relationships, and they all got way too materialistic. Like there are certain, like think about it. There are certain things that are stereotypes because of social media.
Yes.
One being on Valentine's. What do you see? You see the roses on the floor, and then the candles, and the I love you on the bed, and they're probably all at the same fucking hotel. And it's just like, does creativity not exist anymore? Because these boys are dumb. That's another thing too. They just see that somebody else did it, and
people
like,
really lack the imagination and just creativity. And I think that stems from ever so slightly how much you actually pay attention to your partner, because you don't have to be the most creative. You just have to know how to love them, right? And make them feel seen on Valentine's Day, right? And listening to them for 100%. I've been with women where they're like, I'm not as creative as you, Herlene. I'm like, bitch, please, you're creative in your own fucking way. I may be more loud and obnoxious with it, don't get me wrong, because it comes so naturally to me. And I genuinely do enjoy, like, you know, curating the little boxes and stuff like that for them. Or just like, I'm all about the element of surprise. I don't need Valentine's Day to show you or to tell you how much I like you. Or I don't wait for Christmas to splurge you with like 1,000 gifts. I'll do it on a random Tuesday. I'll do it on a random Friday. Like, I'll dance in the rain with a boombox. Like, that's my vibe. Oh my God. I'm that extra. Like, I'm all about being silly, playful, but also authentic. And I feel like social media nowadays removes people from their ability to be authentic, because they're watching not only all these shows, but they're following these so-called influencers that are not really showcasing their day-to-day. Like, if we really sit here and ask them, bro, show me what it is to be with you from morning to night. No cuts, no edits, raw dog it. Let me see it. They're not going to do that, because they don't want you to see the vulnerable side. They don't want you to see the downs. They only want you to see the ups. And that also mentally, like psychologically, it fucks with everybody, because you're only expecting, I got to win. And not knowing that. And when you lose, as long as you fall on your back and, you know, you see the way that you went down, you won't let that happen again, and you can build yourself back up.
Yeah. Another thing too about the social media stuff is I noticed, like, even when people start considering what they do for their partner, they think about how Instagrammable it is.
Yup.
And like, I've seen it especially like with proposals. Like, all the guys know now, like, okay, I need to get a photographer. I need to get maybe even a drone. I need to get a videographer, because my girl's gonna want to post this.
You know what I did?
What?
I bought my own fucking camera.
You proposed?
No.
Oh.
What?
Because, here, did you not hear what I talked about a proposal, and you're like, you know what I did? And
no,
I'm like,
yeah, but in the sense,
proposal?
No, because you were talking about how people need to make it Instagrammable, right?
Yeah.
And they need to hire a videographer. I'm also a DIY kind of girl though, so that's a little bit my fault, but I bought my own fucking camera. So I take our own pictures and our own videos. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to vlog when I'm going to get them like a gift and then have them watch it. Or like have a letter with it. Like, I'm very, very intentional, very sensual with it. And you just cannot teach that. That's not something that I could go on Instagram and be like, guys, this is how you have your girlfriend fall in love with you, like for real, and not no fucking fugazi shit.
Yeah.
I could do that, but
you couldn't. It would get views. I was gonna say. Like, actually.
Well, first I need a girlfriend.
Like, that's a hook. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I think, well, that part of myself, I definitely leave it for when I'm intimate with somebody. Maybe my closest friends will know that that's how I am, because they'll ask me about how it's going, and I'll tell them, be like, oh, I did this, I did that, and for 9 times out of 10, all my friends are like, I need a Herlene in my life. Like, I need someone to love me the way Herlene would love this person. And I'm just like, well, there's definitely, if I exist, there's other people out there that exist that way.
Because like, even like my guy friends, they say that about my boyfriend. They're like, yo, I need to be like him. Because he did, like, I thought that I was like the corny, sappy one in the relationship. And it just turns out like I was with guys who weren't corny or sappy enough for me.
Period.
Like, I was the one doing like everything. And it was just like, okay, like, yeah, you got me a gift, but like, where's your handwriting? Like, well, come on. Like, did you like cut out some like construction paper for me or something? Like, it'd be cute.
I love doing little arts and crafts stuff.
Yes.
Like, I'm big, because it's something along with your time you can't get back, right? Giving somebody tangible gifts, things that they can actually use, memorabilia, those are really important, because when wherever they're going to store it, whether it may be in their house or their car, or maybe their balcony, whatever it is that you give them, it's always going to trigger like, okay, Herlene or Erica, whatever it is. And that's something that hits different. That emotional connection that you build with someone is on another level when you start doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I could get you a Louis bag. I could get you Hermes sandals. I could get you a fucking Gucci bag or whatever, a Gucci shirt. But that's not going to mean much. Maybe for some people it does, like when you're materialistic like that. But I feel like love letters is such a lost art, and just like arts and craft, like we're in elementary school, like giving each other love letters.
That.
I love that shit. Give me all that corny shit.
Like for Valentine's Day, a bitch was balling because my boyfriend did this thing. Like I guess he bought like this like special stationery, and like you could tie the envelopes together with like string and shit. And then he like, I'm sorry if I'm blowing you up, but
we love it. Don't worry.
But then he wrote me like poems, and then so he typed them out. But then he's the drama, but I loved it. He burned the edges as if it was like this old like
I would have done the same thing.
And then he had like QR codes on it, so I can hear him read the poem.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is. I was just like, this is so sad.
That is so cute.
And that was just like one piece of a whole, like he tapped into like all the different parts of me. Like he gave me this big ass container with just like straight chocolates. There was so many chocolates. And it's like, he knew, don't give me like the Russell Stover, heart, because those chocolates are disgusting. He just filled up this big, I think it was like
chocolate
a vase.
connoisseur here, guys. Don't you forget.
And it was full of like Hershey's and, oh my God, Snickers is my chocolate, like in like Kisses and a whole bunch of stuff. And he like filled it all up, and it was so great. And then, and it's because he knows me, because no one else would have done this. He bought me the water fountain for my dog for Valentine's. That was part of the Valentine's Day gift, because he was like, I love you and you love him. And it's like, I'm just like,
it's a package, baby.
To get to me is through my dog. I was just like, oh, that is so nice. Oh my God. And that was just a part of it. And my birthday's the day before Valentine's Day. So he like doubled up. He did more, other things for my birthday. Like the little stuff. Like he took me to see Wicked. I'm sorry, I started geeking out over this shit.
As you should though, it's really cute.
Instead of just telling me, I got a ticket to see Wicked, he made his own like cutesy tickets or whatever, and then he gave that to me in a box.
See, this is love.
Yeah, and
this
then,
is that rom-com shit.
No, and then like on the barcode how it says like the dates. I mean, not the dates. It says like the numbers, whatever. The numbers he used were the dates having to do with I think the day we met and when we got together, like when we were firstly together. He was, if you look at the numbers like those, I was like,
they coincide, babe.
I was like, this is so nice, but
super sweet, super intentional.
Motherfuckers don't think.
They don't think, but people like you can't teach someone how to be that thoughtful and intentional and loving and just creative. Everybody's really creative in their own way, but when you know how to listen to your partner and you know what they like, you know what they don't like, all you have to do is put all that shit together and then put your twist on it. I think it's very simple, but I know for most people that's not simplistic enough.
It's so great. But yeah, he got me to a point where I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing enough. Like, I'm just like...
now we're in competition. Like,
yeah, because I be thinking, I'm like, when do you have the time to think about this? So I'm like, because we spend time together. Yeah. But I'm like, these are like deep thoughts. Like, this is something like you in the shower, you walk into the gym and your thoughts start going. And it's like, for an idea that good...
To be honest, for me personally, maybe your boyfriend's the same way, but I have those thoughts naturally. Like, we could be sitting next to each other and I'm already thinking of like 20 different ideas of how I could like woo you or, you know, just show my love for you, to be honest.
See, that's not, for me, I have to like designate time to think about that or just like go through Pinterest boards and shit because it's like, I never want to duplicate what someone else did, but I'm just hoping that something there sparks something else.
Creativity, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not going to lie, I don't know if I said this before. You know how many boys in high school or even, it was mainly high school, that fucking shit where you put 52 reasons why I love you and you take a deck of cards and I did that for like 3 boys.
Damn.
Listen, man.
You have no other staple, bro?
Okay. I think that because I did it for several boys, it showed how like meh it was. Like I feel like that was an easy one.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that meant more got like more like printing out pictures and stuff.
That's interesting enough that you bring that up. It triggers something for me.
What?
Because you saying that makes me realize that anybody that I've ever dated or actually like seriously been in a relationship with, I've curated gifts for each and every single one of them. Mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10, they probably still have it.
No.
At least I would hope so. And if you don't, it's okay too. Like fuck it, like you do what you want with it, but I did it out of the kindness of my heart, knowing that, you know, you would like it. Like if I know you like a specific show or a movie or maybe even a specific food, like I'm gonna get it for you in bulk, or I'm gonna get you something tangible, whether it's something that you can wear, something that you could use maybe when you're at work. Like I'm very, like I deep dive into all these things to make sure that it's not gonna be a gift that you leave on the shelf.
Yeah. That's
Or
like, oh, this was cute.
Yeah, like, no, it's like, oh my God, this is so cute. And thankfully, for almost every gift I've ever gotten anybody, that's the reaction that they give me, which I'm very content with.
Yeah.
Super content. Because it's like, yes, I did it.
I need to do better. How important is accountability in a relationship to you?
Oof, 100%. Because I will always hold you accountable.
How do you hold your partner accountable?
So, for example, if going back to like wasting my time, if we said we were meeting on this day at this time and then you waste my time, I'm definitely going to text you 30 minutes before or 2 minutes after you were supposed to show up and be like, excuse me, hello, how is everything going? Are you okay? Mm-hmm. And then just let them know, like, I don't appreciate you not communicating with me. And, you know, you could have just said that. Everything with me can be resolved with just simple communication, a conversation. Because I'm not looking to do anything but get past whatever the issue is and just continue the flow. This whole, like, oh, wishy-washy, you know, I'm not 100% certain. Bullshit, bro. Like,
so how do you balance being as strict as you say you are in a relationship with holding people accountable? Because it's like, if someone, you know, fucked up in a way...
It's definitely a yo-yo for me, because if I like you enough, then I'm going to be in my heart about it and be like, no.
They deserve some grace.
Yeah, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. And every time I give a bitch the benefit of the doubt, I get bit in the fucking ass.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm like, because if they're fucking up enough that you got to check them, it's like, maybe things aren't that strict around here.
Nah, so like, you know, if you give me a valid reason, right? You're not just doing shit for the plot. Mm-hmm. You have valid reasoning behind it, then all right, cool. I'm going to put it to the side. But if it's becoming consistent and it's just like
you got a
one
family
excuse,
emergency every time.
Yo, bro. Bro. I'm really gonna, and it's crazy because that's happened to me before where a woman was like, yeah, family emergency. I'm like, listen, baby, you're talking to the most family-oriented bitch you ever probably gonna meet. Mm-hmm. I still make time and I still communicate, right? And even if it is a family emergency, I always wish them well. I let them know that I'm there to support them and I hope that things end up in their favor and there's nothing like terribly wrong with anyone, let alone themselves. But as soon as they tell me that the family emergency is over, I'm on that ass. Yeah. Like, all right, so what actually happened? Like, oh, okay.
Like,
so
give me the rundown. Like,
I want A to Z and do not leave out B, C, or D. Like, I need every single detail. And I know it kind of sounds a little toxic, but...
It does, but you need at least some kind of breakdown of like, all right, how did that take up the last 7 hours of your time?
That's my point.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. I think it's fair.
I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. I think that's where the balance is, where the person who went through the family emergency has to like be real and be like, okay, I think this person deserves an explanation. Like, you know, you don't have to give everything. You don't got to get gory with it or whatever the fuck, or like deep in your emotions, but you got to be like, well, I was sitting in a waiting room for 2 hours and I would, you know, I visited this person and whatever.
Legit. Like, just be fucking honest. That's my biggest thing. If once I feel like you're lying, I automatically get turned off.
How do you hold space for someone else's growth while still protecting your peace?
I hold space for them by just letting them go through their day-to-day, right? Letting them go through those motions, and as long as I don't see them, I guess, plummeting or just taking 10 steps backwards. As long as you're progressing in the right direction, that's all that matters to me. Because I'm going to continue to keep doing the work that I need to do. And I feel like if we're both doing the work side by side, then what can go wrong?
So then what have you learned in the way that you approach people, like in the moments of when they're plummeting, to do it in a way that, like, you know, they receive it well? Because you mentioned before, like, wanting the best for them and like giving your suggestions, and they take it the wrong way.
So for me, it's definitely my approach. Sometimes I could be a little either too aggressive or too nice. So I'm trying to find like the middle point between that. Because I'm not being aggressive because I'm angry. I'm being aggressive more so because I see your potential and I know you can do better. So I want you to do better. Mm-hmm. It's also my, I guess, flaw in a way, because not that I'm looking to fix people, but if I see the gaps and I know how to fill them, I'm going to help you do that. Mm-hmm. But some people don't want that help. Some people just want to go through the motions or just be in that stagnation for however long they want. Mm-hmm. So just being able to watch my tone, curate my words, formulate my sentences in a way where they'll actually feel the heartfelt message instead of it being like, well, she said it in like an aggressive tone, so like I don't want to listen to her.
Do you have a limit for how long they can be plummeting before you're like, listen, I can't help you and
Facts.
I don't think I want to be in this?
Facts. 100%. Because at the end of the day, that energy starts rubbing off on you, especially if you're spending time with that person or like you actually care for them, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's very important for you to make sure that whoever you keep in your energy field are people's energies that you can not only reciprocate, but you're content around. Because you bring a dark cloud wherever you go, or you bring somebody that's like a pessimistic person. You don't want to be somebody that's like that. You don't want, negative Nancy and shit like that. Yeah. Like everything is no, or nothing good could ever happen to them. But you got 2 strikes with me. After that, get the fuck out. Because I'm not like that. Mm-hmm. I understand things happen in life, but I try to remain as optimistic as possible. Like for those of you listening throughout the whole podcast, I really didn't have anything negative to say, to be honest. If anything, is about progression and growth and just being healthy, not only mentally, but emotionally as well, and physically. I think those are 3 important aspects, not only for you, but whenever you're trying to put yourself back out there into a relationship, because those things matter. That's when it shows the most. Your daily routines, how do you talk to yourself? How are you going to talk to another person? Catching yourself when you know that you're angry, you're about to snap, being able to communicate through that, but in a peaceful way. Yeah. Not with aggression or like, you know, in a mad tone or whatever it is. Like tonality definitely matters. Yeah.
And what you said reminds me of something too. Like when I was looking for a partner, I've always said like, I need someone who knows how to take care of themselves, because I've been too many guys' therapists. I've been too many people's mothers. Like, it's just like, all right.
And it's okay to be those things, but to a certain degree, I feel like people tend to abuse it and they'll just rely on you to do everything, like, and then they're doing nothing. I could fill in
the holes here and there, but I can't replace any kind of voids you have, or fill whole voids. I mean, you know, like I've always said too, like I need someone who has their own life. Yes. Because if you're just dilly-dallying and fucking like twiddling your thumbs waiting for me to come back every time I'm out with my friends or anytime I'm working, it's like, all right, like now I don't like this, I guess, imbalance. I'm not a fan of that, because at the same time too, like I've learned this with all my other relationships, like guys who say that they can understand that I have this life or whatever. They say that until they're at home and I'm living and shit. And you can't be with someone who hasn't experienced the things that you want to experience or doesn't have the things that you have. Like I have a lot of friends. I had an ex who didn't have any friends. So anytime I was out, there was always resentment. But because he couldn't say, oh, I would just go out with mine. Mm-hmm. It was just like, he just always felt like, oh, what about me?
I feel like that's so weird though when people have that personality complex. Like, I used to be that way when I was in high school, and my girl would tell me, oh, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, and like they wouldn't, I guess not necessarily invite me, but I would feel a little bit of FOMO and a little bit of resentment. But now as I've gotten older, my biggest thing is like, are you safe? Are you okay? Like make sure you let me know when you get there, when you get home. Like if anything, call me, I'll pick you up. I want you to have fun. I want you to have those moments with your friends, because at the end of the day, you're not going to spend 24/7 with me, even if we do live together. And I think it's important for you to still have your own life and not have mine, whether it's me being home while you're outside or I'm outside when you're outside, and we're in 2 different places.
But that's another thing too. When you're in a healthy relationship, that really is your only concern, is whether or not they're safe. Because if you're in a bad relationship, that's when you start thinking, are they cheating on me? Are they doing something else? Are they with someone else? But I saw this thing somewhere and it was like soulmate, it's so hard. Like my only concern is if he dies. Yes. Like, that's literally facts. And I'm just like, that's so fucking true. Like when you have that much confidence in your person and you know that you guys are stable, like all you care is that they're alive and healthy and well. I'm just like, oh, like it's that fucking simple. Like we keep coming back to that where it's like, it's not that hard. But y'all just made it really hard.
I feel, again, social media and just people not being aware and not having conversations like these where you're explaining what it is to go through hardships in your relationship or what it's like to have those good moments, because it is possible. And a lot of people feel like they're not worthy or they're not capable of putting in the work. And it's just like, everybody deserves great things in life. Why, like, I don't understand why some people are like, I don't deserve that. Unless you fucking out here mass murdering somebody, I don't know. Like you deserve peace, you deserve love, you deserve good things to find you and for good things to love on you as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So next we have, how do you spot when someone's not actually ready to grow with you, even when they say they are? This one's like my favorite. People love saying that shit.
It's true though. I would say, I'll tell you this. There was a person that I met and she was just like, she was very, very honest and open with the fact that there's parts of her that she still needed to work on, but I guess triggered those certain parts and she wanted to put in the work. Then she was putting in the work for like a month. Then after that, she just plateaued and she just stopped giving a fuck. Then there was excuses after another excuse. And I knew it was excuses because the person that I met initially, they would have still made it happen. They would have communicated. They would have like done everything in their power, I guess, to reassure me in a way. And I feel as if once someone doesn't, like, actions speak louder than words for me. So you could say anything you want, but if your actions don't follow, then it means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Because you can tell me, oh, I really like you, or I want to do this, or I see a future with you. Like, are you doing things
like, that's cute?
You're right. Are you doing things that build up to that? Or what are we doing? Are we just fucking saying words of affirmation here, bitch? Because I don't need that. Like, I don't want that. That's empty promises. I don't do empty promises. Like, I'm the kind of person that if I tell you that I'm gonna do something or whatever it is, like I'm a woman of my word 100%. And I stand 10 toes on that. Because a lot of people nowadays, they're just like, yeah, definitely, I got you. And then when you need them, it's like, yo, where you went?
Yeah. I was on the reverse end of that, like the whole thing where it was like, we were both going through like college and stuff and we went through like a rough patch and he was just like, you know, like I feel like I'm at a point in my life that I need to do this part alone. And I was like, wait, but we can grow together. Like, what's the problem with that? And he was just like, no, like, I don't think that would work. And the way that I always saw it was like, okay, so then you don't really even fuck with me then, because what do you mean we can't grow together? Like, real relationships grow together. But I'm, at the same time, like, looking back, I'm like, well, if someone doesn't want to grow with you, they don't want to be with you. Like, that's just that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
But it's hard to capture that in the moment.
Yeah, in the moment, because, you know, like, you guys were just happy, like, last week. So you're thinking, like, okay, like, it's just a moment. It's just a bad week or it's a bad day. Like, we got through the last however many months together. Like, what's so special about this one? And you start thinking that because it's like, well, you're not them. You're not living their life and you're not feeling you're not feeling things the way that they feel them.
Right.
And they could tell you all their problems. And, like, I didn't view his problems as huge problems. I thought his problems were fixable. And I thought that they were, like, you know, easy to maneuver and stuff, but he didn't. And I was just kind of like, oh, but then at the same time, like, looking back again, like, you know, hindsight's always 20/20. I'm like, why would I want to be with someone who can't fix their own problems? Like, I'm like, if I thought that I could fix them and if I was giving solutions and he didn't want to do as much as listen to them, I'm like, all these things, not someone I want to be with. Like, why was I even trying? But this is a long time ago. I mean, not that long. I mean, I was 19, so I don't know who considers what long ago. But it was long enough ago that I'm like, that shit was dumb. Like, Erica, shut up. Like, please. Like, you know, like,
yo, like, shut up and stop it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So what does it look like when two people are ready at the same time?
When two people are open enough and vulnerable enough with each other and they're willing to accept, I guess, each other's downfalls in a way and still persevere. Yeah. Like, someone can sit there and tell you, like, I don't know, maybe the fact that you make more money than me and it's a superiority, there we go, complex. And some people can't see past that. Like, I've known people where it was, my girl can't make more than me. And I'm just like, you know, money is great, but money isn't everything. Can that person actually cater to you and your love languages. Like, do they care about you? Those are things that you just can't teach.
But at the same time, like me thinking as a dude, if my girl makes more money than me, I would want to be like, okay, I'm going to try to make more money than her. Like, if it really is
Of
that
course.
bad,
Right.
then use that as motivation. Like, clearly you got someone by your side who's doing well, learn from them. Like, that's a whole other thing though with like imbalances in relationships. Like, and I think that with friendships too, like where it's like, you can be friends with people more successful than you and you don't have to think like, oh my God, woe is me, that I'm not doing as good as them. It's like, okay, well, if they value you enough to keep you in their circle, or in our case, you know, value you enough to be with you, clearly they see something in you. And it's like, okay, then do something with that. Now we're finally closing out. So do you have any last words for someone who thinks that they're ready to take the next steps and finally get back into a relationship?
Yes, definitely be intentional, be authentic, be wholesome, and just make sure that you've done enough work, like whatever the red flags were in your previous relationship or things that you may have tolerated or let go. Damn. You may have tolerated or let go, that you don't allow that to come into this new relationship, right? As well as understanding that there may be things that you thought you healed, but definitely are nowhere near done or maybe halfway. And it's going to require you to work on yourself some more and just make sure you pick the right person who's willing to stick by you with that and understand that maybe you might need a moment to decompress, or maybe when you say that you're not in the right headspace to speak about something, they still make it a point to come back to that conversation when they're ready, not just they say that and they let it go.
Yeah. And the most that I can say is just, if you
Love
think
yourself.
you're,
Love yourself.
if you think you're ready for a relationship, I would just say to think about in what ways would your natural actions hurt somebody else. Like, I think that's a big thing, because you don't want to make your problems somebody else's problems, especially if you're not comfortable talking about your problems.
Right.
And now you make it as somebody else's problem and they don't know what your problems are because you're like, oh, like that's too deep for me. Okay, then maybe you shouldn't be involving another person. That's the sign that self-work and stuff is still necessary.
And also just make sure that whatever decisions that you make, you would be comfortable if your partner did it as well.
Oh, that's a big one.
Being mindful of their emotions. Yes. That I feel like people nowadays don't do that. Like, don't do anything you wouldn't want your partner to do to you. Not saying that they would do it, but if you were in their shoes, how would you receive that? Would you take it well or would you not? And I'll leave you guys with that.
Yep. So I think that is all. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming on Yip to my app.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. What else do I got for you? Nothing. Like, comment, and subscribe. Give me 5 stars wherever you're listening. Please engage, comment, all that good stuff. Yell at me. Tell me I'm great. Tell me I'm horrible. It's fine.
Do not give this a thumbs down. I'm gonna assume you're a hater.
And there's always one. There's always fucking one.
Always. Drinking haterade for free. How dare you?
Anywho, thanks for the views. So I think that is all. I will see you next week. I love you and bye.
Bye.